The views, takes and opinions expressed on this show are of the host's own and do not represent the views, takes and opinions of the Main Event Mark, Pro Wrestling Philippines Club and its affiliates. Material and sources mentioned in this episode is for general and commentary purposes only. This episode might include strong language and may not be suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised. Stay safe and stay wrestle everyone. Welcome to the Main Event Mark.
Yo, check. Welcome to yet another episode of the Main Event Mark Podcast. Ayan, visit na yan. Good to know that Converge is cooperating with me right now. So thank you very much for tuning in on tonight's live stream. By the way, my name is Angelo Pereira here tonight on our usual live stream. Medyo nagbabago na talaga ang oras na live stream. Siguro I will stick with this type of time slot. Pero siguro sa mga susunod na araw, I'm going to try na mag 9 p.m., 10 p.m. na oras. Kasi medyo hassle din sa algorithm ni YouTube mag live stream ng ganito ka-late. Pero at least, pag live stream tayo this week and I'm really excited to share as well some of my thoughts for this year's SummerSlam. And I hope everyone is fine. I hope you guys are safe. And maraming salamat din ulit sa lahat ng nakikinig, sumusuporta of course sa both of our shows, the Main Event Mark Podcast, today's podcast, and also yung PWPH Podcast. Sobrang dami nakikinig. Sobrang dami na bibuwisit. Pinuputakti pa rin kami ng haters. Seryoso lang. Ang masasabi ko lang, be careful. Tsaka ingat lang kayo. Yun lang masasabi ko. Kasi minsan may mga tao din talaga na tapat ko. Tsaka huwag kang tawag ng tawag. Huwag kang feeling close. Yan lang talaga. So, anyways, today, let's do some shit here. Thank you ulit sa mga nakikinig, sumusuporta both of our shows, Main Event, and also the PWPH Podcast. Again, thank you din sa mga nakikinig on our recent episodes for the Main Event Mark. Grabe yun. Grabe yung reception ng both shows. So, ito po ang mangyayari in the next couple of episodes. So, ang gagawin ko, tonight, we're going to do the fallout. Since I was able to record the review itself, pag-usapan natin yun later on once we're able to release the audio versions of that episode. Then, ngayong gabi, siguro I'll give still my thoughts kung gusto niyo pa rin tanongin kung ano ba yung mga thoughts ko about SummerSlam. And then, pag-usapan din natin yung Fallout, Great American Bash, the Bound for Glory events. Dami na pag-uusapan all throughout this full episode of the Main Event Mark Podcast. Again, also, acknowledge din natin ang yung mga tropa natin from this Drunken Midnights, sila Slick Master. They are going to have a live wrestling gig this Sunday sa Unknown 13. I think that's in Quezon City. So if you want to join a wrestling band showdown, some of sorts, you can contact the Slick Master Files, our friends over there, one of our bunkmates then here, Slick Master. I hope you can support them as well on their platform sa New. Ano nga ba tawag doon sa community nila? New. I'm not sure on that name. Pasensya na, Slick. Pare, kaibigan naman kita. Pero, ayun, I hope you can support our friends there. Andun din si Kyle. Kyle, again, my apologies. And I hope that you will be fine right now. Everyone, I hope you can support as well the podcast on social media at MEM Wrestling Pod. You can support as well the show on Patreon, patreon.com/MEM Wrestling Pod. Also, you can support as well WWE programming in a bigger way, in a better way, if you have Blast TV, since they have Blast TV sports channels like App Sports, Premier Sports 1 and 2, and specifically Top Sports. Free for view sila. If you want to watch the live Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, the channel is free to view. Wala kang kailangan gawin. You just have to download Blast TV on your Android or iOS device, and then you will be able to enjoy Raw, SmackDown, NXT live. And syempre, para mas kompleto pa din yung experience, you have to create an account para makapag-nood ka rin ng mga VOD noong shows if you miss the live feed. Also, may mga channels din naman na free din all this month. Hindi ko lang tanda kung yung lineup. I think it's Laugh. Then yung iba pang shows na you will be able to watch on Blast TV. Sobrang game changer nitong platform mo to. So, if you want to watch WWE shows on Blast TV, grabe. You have to catch the wrestling shows on Blast TV. That's blasttv.ph. And then, you just have to download the app. Makapanood na kayo na weekly shows. Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Yan. Pasensya na wala akong boses. Meron nakata akong kakaiba na naman na nangyayari sa akin. Let's do this. Let's start with my original first bit of news here this week. So, TNA Bound for Glory is set on October 26 in Detroit. It will take place at Detroit Wayne State University Fieldhouse. It's 3,000 seating capacity arena. Everyone is actually expecting a bigger arena than this, but this is such a really big arena. Kumpara doon sa previous arena that they actually able to deal with. Ano ba ang arena yon? Yung sa Slammiversary previous month. That was a bigger arena, if you're going to ask me. It's like a basketball arena. Better arena, in my perspective. So, Bound for Glory is set on October 26 in Detroit. Thoughts ko lang naman, good for TNA that they were able to get some cash money on the WWE deal that they currently have, and also the crossover things that they are currently doing. So good for them. And I think that on the line, mas maganda pa din ang naging partnership ni WWE and TNA rather than the AEW thing. And also, the thing that they are doing currently with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Pero eto, TNA Bound for Glory, this will be the last PPV for the year ng TNA. And I cannot wait to see more of TNA next year. And I hope that everyone will be able to appreciate this type of events na they have. For context lang, ilang araw lang mula dito is we're going to have Crown Jewel November 2nd sa Saudi ulit. So if you want to watch this show, there's a weeks or days from now after that, you have to watch Bound for Glory on October. And also, days from that is yung Crown Jewel. Para lang sa context, gusto ko lang mag-share yung TNA Plus. They are now airing TNA Impact ng ahead sa US feed. So, if you want to watch TNA Impact with the VODs, with the content then they have parang WWE Network style, you can watch the TNA Impact then doon sa TNA Plus. Sobrang sulit ng TNA Plus. Nagbabad ako kagabi ng mga Scott Steiner moments before with TNA Impact. Grabe yung mga... Pero parang sa unang tingin, hindi kompleto yung TNA Plus. And I hope that TNA will be able to fulfill some of the content that TNA has before on their Impact Plus app. Also, breaking news nga muna tayo. Ito yung gumulantang sa atin buong umaga sa United States. WCW veteran Kevin Sullivan has passed away at the age of 74. PWPH Wrestling Network and the main event mark is condoling with the family, friends, and fans of Kevin Sullivan. Ah, ako hindi ko naabutan si Sir Kevin Sullivan. So, hindi ko masyado magbibigyan ng punto or thoughts itong pagkamatay niya. But I heard that he is an amazing wrestler before sa WCW. Never ko siyang nakita sa WWE canon. So, I'm not gonna give my thought na, ay, naabutan ko to sa WWE. Hindi. I'm going to say that he has an amazing run then with WCW. He's an amazing talent then on his own right. And I hope that everyone will be able to include him in your prayers. And I hope that he is fine with the Lord and makapagpahinga siya sa ring, sa taas. May ring naman sa taas, so pahinga na siya. I don't know if we are able to get some information about his death. Wala rin naman naglalabas sa mga wrestling platforms natin. So I'm not gonna provide that to you guys as of right now. But here on the main event and PWPH Wrestling Network, we are praying for the life of Kevin Sullivan. As of right now, just a little quick here. I'm just going to take a short break. And when we are back, we're going to do a thought, real quick, of SummerSlam. Pag-usapan natin ng napakabilis. And then we are going to focus on the fallout of WWE SummerSlam. We'll be right back after a short message. Thank you for staying on the stream. Ay, Ina, good evening. Unfortunately, we don't have AEW Dynamite sa top. The only way you will be able to watch AEW Dynamite is on Thriller TV. If you have Thriller TV, you can subscribe over there. That's $350 something per month. They used to air AEW shows on Top Sports or Premier Sports. But as of right now, they don't have AEW Dynamite sa Premier Sports or Top Sports or sa buong Blast TV. Wala siyang platform to watch AEW right now on Premier Sports. Walang nag-i-air na platform right now. I hope once HBO Go rebrands as Max, will be able to get a content for AEW on that platform. Sana, fingers crossed. Okay, so let's continue na on SummerSlam. I'm not going to do a full review like what I said on the beginning. So we're just going to share some of my thoughts on that show. So I'm going to provide to you my longer thoughts episode. So we're going to release that on your favorite podcast platforms and on YouTube. So let's start with the kickoff show. So I'm going to say a longer kickoff show. That was a terrible idea to put a longer kickoff show, which is 3-hour kickoff show. Na countdown, whatever ko naman pangalan yan. In the end of the day, it's still a kickoff show to me. So, the 3-hour countdown was a terrible idea na sobrang bugnot ko. Natulugan ko siya until main card. The good thing about it though, sobrang di na sila naggagawa ng commercials before the main show. Parang connected na siya, integrated na siya, yung show is directed na all throughout. Ewan ko lang sa mga ibang broadcaster like Disney Plus, kahit di naman ako naka-Disney Plus na, di na ako nag-subscribe sa Disney just for context kasi sobrang basura din naman ng content ng Disney Plus. So I'm not gonna do that. But let's continue with Jelly Roll opening the show with his team, Liar. I'm going to say the sobrang appropriate ng kanta na Liar on this whole pay-per-view PLE. Sobrang appropriate sa mga nangyari all throughout this whole show. Sobrang appropriate ng Liar dito sa show na to. Yun. Let's talk about the highlights here. CM Punk was defeated by Drew McIntyre. Imagine that bracelet was the one who is going to let him lose. Sobrang nakakatawa yun. I'm kind of disappointed on what happened on this whole thing with the bracelet bullshit thing. Na medyo I'm kind of disappointed na bakit natalo dito si Punk just because of his emotions dahil sa nangyari doon sa bracelet. That was yes, that was a plot device, but the way they are executing the thing, that was disappointing as hell. But it really works on how they are going to continue with the story. That was a really good thing. But wrestling wise, medyo I'm not kinda happy about it. Pero sakto lang siya. Medyo hindi lang ako satisfied masyado. Gonna give my thoughts then on the women's title. Bailey was defeated by Nia Jax. To me, that was a perfect time to be beaten by the queen of the ring, Nia Jax. Hindi ko lang ma-imagine if is this the perfect time to Tiffany Stratton to actually cash in her briefcase, or maybe ito na ba dapat yung perfect spot, or dapat ba muna mag-turn si Tiffany as a babyface before she can cash in her briefcase? There's a lot of thoughts in my mind about that match. I love Tiffany Stratton. Everyone loves Tiffany Stratton. So, medyo may agam-agam ako on what they're going to do with Tiffany. Pero Nia Jax kasi sobrang grabe yung naging improvement niya sa hilaran niya eh. So, I could not say a bad thing about her winning the women's world title. So, to me, she really deserves it. And Tiffany is just waiting for a perfect timing and a perfect face turn. Yan ang gusto ko talaga mangyari with Tiffany Stratton winning the women's title from Nia Jax. Ayun, Liv Morgan beating Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. In my honest opinion, I really love how predictable this match. I know this will be a predictable one, like the Judgment Day split up was started because of Rhea's obsession of Liv, and then the domino effect on this moment. Then Liv Morgan just avenging his spot last year na nawala rin sa kanya. So parang quits lang yung nangyari. And then parang ito na nga, we are going to have the revenge match which took place on the kickoff of SummerSlam. Then here comes Liv. Liv Morgan actually got help by Dom. And then the moment that we are expecting, Dom turned on Rhea Ripley. And eventually, we got the moment Liv and Dom actually kissed after of that match. And di na naman nakakagulat. So, the execution was great. Grabe. Top notch. Wala akong masabi doon. Pero, we could not focus on the wrestling match dito sa match na to eh. So, we're just going to focus on how the story went out on this storyline with Liv and Rhea. Same with the Damian Priest and Gunther. But I'm going to talk about that last. Let's continue with Jelly Roll match. Just for the crowd. Wala na ako masyadong kailangan i-tackle dyan. But, not gonna lie, Jelly Roll hits a solid choke slam on, I think it's Theory. Grabe yun. That was a really good choke slam. Imagine, mas huge pa siya kay Bronson Reed, something like Bronson Reed. Grabe yung choke slam niya on him. And that was amazing to me. To see a celebrity doing moves like that or impressing people like that. But seriously, that was an amazing moment for Jelly Roll. As someone na nagre-recover from his past, I think Jelly Roll was a perfect presentation for SummerSlam this year. Especially with his team, Liar. That was amazing. Ito, continue tayo with, ano pa ba, hindi ko nasasabi. Yun nga, CM Punk versus Drew. I didn't like how the match went out. Pero like what I said, the match was fun. Yung ano ba? Nawala ako. Pero yun nga, the match was fun. The story is there. Medyo weird lang that they have to focus with the bracelet. That was very given, pero parang, I didn't like it that much. Medyo na ano lang ako, nasapawan na ng konti. Then, let's focus on the main event muna. Cody defeated Solo Sikoa, the Temu tribal chief of the bloodline. Sorry to say, I'm kind of bored on this whole match. Medyo nagising na yung diwa ko nung andyan na yung mga interferences simula doon kina Tama and Jacob Fatu, here comes Orton and Owens, then Roman Reigns returning to the company doon. Gising yung diwa ko. Pero medyo yung match itself, that was a little bit boring to me. That was boring as fuck. Sobrang ano siya. Ako kung ikukumpara ko siya kay Gunther versus Damian Priest, I would say this is such a boring matchup. Sobrang na-bored ako doon. Malala. Ayun. LA Knight finally beating Logan Paul for the US title. I would say deserve. He is impressive, to be fair kay Logan Paul. But it's a perfect time na rin for LA Knight to win the belt and finally crowning himself as the champion. I hope lang na hindi ito maging transitional and we can get a really long run for LA Knight. Braun Breaker defeated Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title. I really think that this match was impressive then. That really showed how aggressive Braun Breaker was. And medyo, andito na ako sa part that I am really kinda disappointed on Sami Zayn. To be fair, I really love Sami Zayn, but I was thinking na it's time for him to go to SmackDown, continue the Bloodline story. I think he's the perfect guy to join the Bloodline, just to finish the story of the Bloodline. Join Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, just to be able to finish this goddamn storyline, War Games. Imagine, mangyayari na yan anytime soon. And, ayun, perspective ko lang naman, medyo okay lang sa akin yung panalo ni Braun Breaker. That was a long time coming din, in my honest opinion. Sobrang tagal na rin natin na wala ganong homegrown na champion. So, para sa akin, good din na nanalo si Braun over Sami Zayn. Ito na nga. The Judgment Day. So, let's talk about the Damian Priest versus Gunther match. Like what I said earlier, sobrang nagustuhan ko yung match between Damian Priest and Gunther. If magkakaroon ako ng rating scale about this match, yung mga Dave Meltzer rating scale ko dito, siguro I'll give this match at least 4.75. Not 5. Medyo may problema ako sa turn. I'll talk about that later. Okay. So, the match was really good. I think medyo lumabas na sobrang effective ni Damian Priest as the face of this feud. Medyo nga si Converge, hindi nakikisama sa akin. Pasensya na. But let's continue. Wait lang. Ayos ba si Converge? Ayos ba yung stream? Pero yun, let's continue. I hope Converge wants to fuck me up again. Ay, nako, Converge. Hindi ko na alam po sasabihin. Continue tayo. So, the match between Damian Priest and Gunther, I would say the match was fun. Grabe. This might be my favorite Damian Priest match since he won the world title. Medyo masakit na tangin na nag-game plot device yung title ni Damian Priest. I'm kind of disappointed on that, but I really love Damian Priest. na sobrang gustong-gusto ko si Damian. I think he will work more as a champion. Something like Hangman Page nung face pa siya. Mas mag-work on him. Ah, mas magaling siya mag-chase si Damian Priest. So, mas effective yun for him. At least for me, na Damian Priest is someone who is actually effective as a chaser for the championships and actually losing it. Pero yun, Rhea Ripley, she is very good on her role. Pero let's focus on Damian here. Damian Priest turned by Finn Balor during the World Heavyweight title match. The turn was very expected na. Pero on the way they really executed it, they are on the part that let's split them up. Then siguro oras na rin para magkaroon na siguro din talaga ng World Champion and Gunther na ano na tayo sa part na question natin kung sino ba ang tatalo kay Gunther. Hindi natin alam kung sino ba dapat ang tumalo kay Gunther down the line. Pero with this story currently that they have, and I will talk about the other one later, pero medyo medyo andun ako sa part that is this the perfect time to see Damian Priest as a really effective face of the Raw division. Kasi especially with Raw going to Netflix, is this the perfect number one face to all of us? Hindi ko rin sure. Pero I hope he is. And I hope they can build him up back. Yun. So, with the match, very executed. And kung ako masusunod, kung tatanungin niyo ako, gusto ko mag-book ng Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther for the title, Bash at Berlin. Pero official na rin kasi yung official na, which is Orton versus Gunther. I will talk about that in a moment, kung ano man yung thoughts ko about that. Pero, in my honest opinion naman, the Judgment Day splitting up, tapos pinasok nila si Carlito para lang maghanap ng PS5. Oh God, PS5. Ito naman yung papasok sa isip ko eh. Every time I think about Carlito, naisip ko talaga was the PS5 bullshit. And that was a really good way on introducing him as a laughing stock of Judgment. Then, we also have, tawag dito? We also have Liv joining the Judgment Day in default because siya na yung mami ni Dom. Then, actually, we could not count JD McDonough because JD is already a member of Judgment Day before Priest was kicked out. So, that's good. Ito yung medyo tanong ako. Sa tingin niyo ba, wala ba talagang leader? Or is there a way to declare Finn Balor as a de facto leader of the Judgment Day? Finn Balor kasi he's really instating that there are no leaders in Judgment Day. But clearly he is acting like a leader in Judgment Day. I don't think there are some main event mafia bragging rights between Priest and Balor on the build that they have before this kickout took place. Parang may ganun na twist na nangyari na they are having the bragging rights. Ang problema lang na nakita ko, hindi na nila ginawa yung part na they have to do this split up thing, then parang mas mahaba pa yung medyo nagpapa-obvious na si Finn that he is going to turn on Priest. Then, that might be a different outcome. Pero, that was a really good split regardless. And kung paano nila i-build to, papuntang Bad Blood, o kaya sa mga susunod na show ni WWE, malalaman natin. Kasi it's really interesting then to see how things are going when it comes to this specific show for SummerSlam. And for sure, ewan ko medyo kailangan ko ng i-call to. Is Finn Balor going to win a world title next year? Kasi based on his shit lately, parang mukhang magiging world champion siya within 2025. Then, if it is, then he should win a world title within this year. Then, balik tayo sa Bloodline. The OTC, the official tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Medyo mabilis lang to. I think, in my honest opinion, Roman Reigns returning is the icing of the cake for this show. Like what I said, medyo na-bored ako on the tribal combat Bloodline rules match between Roman and Roman Temu. I forgot the Temu part. Solo Sikoa and Cody for the undisputed belt. Medyo underwhelming siya in a way na I should look for Damian Gunter as the main event for this show. But I really think it makes sense na Cody is the undisputed champion. We should put him on the top of the card. Pero parang andun ako sa part na yung kalaban mo, evil ng WWE. To be fair, with WWE, ay, naku. Ewan ko, di talaga mawala-wala sa isip ko why I am despising this idiot son of a bitch, Solo Sikoa. Not because he is on this gimmick. To be fair, it works on him. Good for him for that. My only problem that I notice about this, he is making obvious teasers that si Roman magre-return dito, medyo lagyan mo naman ng suspense para naman magmukhang aggressive kasi ginagaya mo si Roman, sobrang ano ni Roman, nagaya mo eh. Sobrang tanga ni Roman, nagaya mo. But anyways, I hope this team that he got on this return, sana hindi ito yung mismong team niya. Medyo hindi ko rin gusto yung ganitong version of Roman's team. At least to me. But I'm not gonna nitpick on that long. Pero, other than that, I didn't like the tribal combat or the bloodline rules that much because of how messy it was. Nung WrestleMania, I didn't like the match. I focused on the story. This, it's just a bootleg of what we got on WrestleMania. So I could not comment on the bloodline rules longer because it's horrible. It's kinda not a taste of my tea. So medyo di ko siya nagustuhan. Ayan. I think that's my SummerSlam thoughts. Medyo nasuya ako in a way of I'm going to say this. Ba't ako nasusuya? Yes, I really love how this bloodline thing or the judgment thing went out and we got a next chapter of each storylines. Pero in the fact kasi na you have to incorporate the wrestling into the stories. Even na yun, okay? Like what kagaya ng sinabi ni Dave Meltzer, I will agree with him as well here dito. The stories is really heavy on this. If we are going to compare this on an AEW or WWE TNA match or maybe sa iba pang companies like New Japan or sa mga company like itong mga recent matches sa tournament ng G1 sa New Japan, they are thinking that this actually better than what we got on SummerSlam. Medyo may disagreement tayo dyan because of how they are presenting the stories. Tingnan mo, kung i-compare ko siya sa card ng All in London, ano bang story-driven or effective storyline sa All in London card aside sa Mariah May versus Toni Storm match and of course, the main event, Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland or MJF versus Will Ospreay. Aside from that, let me know. Other than that, kung i-compare mo doon, I would say wala na. Wala na. Darby versus Jackass Perry, medyo di ko nagugustuhan yung build. Just to give you a heads up, baka may magsabi na ay, ito si Angelo medyo biased to kay Jack Perry kasi nakita niyo yung Taco Bell. ito na naman tayo sa Taco Bell. Sobrang gago kasi. Kasi nabayan ng Taco Bell yung utang ng segment. I'm glad that we never got this on the Thriller TV feed. And kung paano nga ba dapat yung execution of the stories of this Bloodline thing or this AEW thing, then okay, let's justify with what the hell it's actually going with the current storylines in AEW compared with the WWE canon. Okay, so medyo napapahaba na ako. So, yun nga, kagaya nga ng sabi ko, overall, mas heavy yung storylines compared sa kung ano man yung matches that we are expecting on this thing, on this PLE. I agree. Pero may mga bagay din talaga na mahirap paghaluin. Para lang yan gin at saka beer. Hindi mo siya mapaghalo. So, medyo mahirap. So, yan lang. But regardless, I really like SummerSlam. SummerSlam was cinema. Yun ang appropriate term. Not a wrestling. Cinema lang. Okay. So, yun lang muna. Sa ngayon, yung aking thoughts about SummerSlam for a longer episode for SummerSlam Premium Live event. I'm going to tackle that on a different episode. We're going to do the other episode for SummerSlam 2024 that will be released together with this episode on audio only sa main event mark on all of the podcast platforms and on Spotify, YouTube. So ngayon, we're going to do the part 2 of our news bites. We're going to take a short break here. And let's check our friends here on PWH. Sayin ko lang ng konti yung comment. Sometimes emotion gets the best of him. Kay CM Punk to, I think. Oo, I agree naman. Sobrang bilis kasi magago nito ni CM Punk. Tangina. CM Punk yung tipo na siguro pag pinalo mo or pag pinuna mo na bahala ka dyan. Pero yung tipong pag pinalo mo ng tsinelas, hindi siya iiyak. Pero pag pinalo mo ng sinturon, iiyak si CM Punk. Ganun yung feeling ng point na to with the stories that we got on CM Punk's side. And I'm glad that it's not ending just yet. Pero yeah, I agree with Ilya. Like what I said earlier, si Ilya Dragunov, na the one who is actually, I wanted to become the number 1 contender for the belt, kagaya na sabi ko, sobrang impressed kasi ako sa kanya. And then with him going to fight Gunther for the belt, that should be an amazing thing, an amazing moment then if nanaisin talaga. Nanaisin na i-book to ng WWE. Pero I think Ilya is protected at some point when it comes to this run or protected siya kay Gunther. So, good. Okay. So, yun. I agree naman on Darby. Yeah, I respect din on your preference. But, Jack Perry, I'm just hoping that Darby wins the title back. Okay. So, let's continue. News na lang to. So, we are going to talk about the other stuff later on the program. So, Rey Fenix has been drawn from September Independent Wrestling booking. So, that was for 26th of September and the promotion. Hindi ko natandaan kung anong wrestling promotion yan. That Rey Fenix is withdrawing himself from that event for an undisclosed reason. It was confirmed by Fightful. And then, I think this might lead to a WWE run because earlier this week, we got a trademarking stuff for Rey Fenix and Pentagon. So, I cannot wait to see them in WWE. And I hope they will be able to perish on a longer run when it comes to this type of promotion. I know people might be disappointed why they signed with WWE. At sabihin nila, ay, ito si Fenix. Sabihin na naman nila, Malilimit na naman yung mga skills nila. Parang si Julia at si Stephanie, baka understand this. Even with the limited moves, they're still amazing. I cannot wait to see more of them down the line. And Refenex is definitely one of my favorite in AEW. Medyo nabibuwisit lang talaga ako kay Penta, yung kakasero-sero niya. Kala mo, sugalero eh. So, Scott D'Amore announced that he is reopening Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Some talents from TNA Impact is also set to appear on this promotion of Scott D'Amore, so that's good for him. And I cannot wait to see more of Scott D'Amore. I hope that eventually we will be able to do a sorts of a partnership within TNA and Maple Leaf. And yun, I hope everything will be fine on the side of Scott D'Amore. He is an amazing booker, so for sure, everything will be able to be fun on Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Also, just to give you an heads up, nag-announce din si Maple Leaf that they're going to be televised as part of the Thriller TV Plus deal. So if you have a Thriller TV na panonood ng GCW, I think will be included on your Thriller TV Plus subscription. That's a good thing. So, continue tayo. NXT Great American Bash Week 2, medyo mabilis lang. I'm not gonna talk about every matches. Yung NXT title match between Oro Mensah and Eric or Ethan Page. I really love the match. Sobrang kulit lang na yung build umikot sa 1-2-3, 1-2-3. I'm kinda annoyed of that. But the match itself, that was amazing. I really like how it went out on the whole thing when it comes to how they presented this match. Pero overall, grabe yung naging run so far ni Ethan Page. Hell, it is even better or this even better, bisaya na naman ako, than his AEW run or kahit anumang ganap niya sa AEW. This current run as NXT champion is easily better than that. So, sobrang impressive doon si Ethan Page. Other thoughts, si Kelani Jordan retaining the title over Tatum Paxley. I would say Tatum Paxley is really growing on me. Slowly, but growing on me as a character. Kelani Jordan always gives me happiness. Grabe. Something na feeling ko pag pinanood ko si Kelani Jordan, it might be reminded me of Will Ospreay na woman given with her background as gymnast or athletic, something like that. Then, you should expect as well na grabe yung magiging presentation ni Kelani Jordan. I never expected her as champion for the North American title with a woman. But someone like Kelani Jordan, sobrang grabe, sobrang impressive niya so far as champion. Sobrang impressive niya. I could not imagine any challengers yet who will be able to dethrone her as champion. Hindi ko isasama si Stephanie at saka si Julia dito kasi they might be booked over Roxanne Perez sa NXT Women's title. So, for me, that's a better booking then in my own perspective. Kung ako naman ang masusunod, o ibubook ko din naman si Kelani over both of them, then, no, not gonna do that. Pero mas maganda talaga, yung dalawang yon i-book nyo kay Roxanne, magpaunahan na lang sila. Kasi naman yung mas over, they should be booked to drop or to be able to lose the women's title to either of them. But Julia is really over in Japan. So I would say I'm going to give her a gap. Si Stephanie Bequer, siguro it's time for her then na medyo mag-adjust muna sa kanyang run dito. Pagkapaan mo na silang dalawa. I hope everyone will be able to give any impression on both of them and for sure magugustuhan din naman sila ng WWE Universe. But I am rooting for both of them. But like what I said, Kelani Jordan is really impressive. Sobrang ano na rin, sobrang solid niya sa mic niya though needs to be done. But her skills, her wrestling, really, really good. As a gymnast, has this background. Someone like Will Ospreay treatment. Sobrang impressive talaga ni Kelani Jordan. Hell, if we're going to have a Rookie of the Year sorts, I'm not going to hesitate. Ilalagay ko si Kelani Jordan as one of my candidates. Sobrang impressive na kasi talaga. Yun. So, di ko na focus masyado yung sa Rascals, but the Rascals was attacked by Wesley. Ang problema ko kay Wesley, masyado siyang kupal eh. Masyado siyang whiny. Diba? Sobrang hindi niya kasi kayang mag-take accountability on everything that he is doing. So parang yung consequences niya, ibubuntol niya sa iba. So medyo I'm kinda upset of how they're booking Wesley. But I hope this is going to be a different opener or something like an opener for him to improve as a heel. And I hope then that we'll be able to see a pay-per-view talaga between TNA and NXT or sorts WWE then. I cannot wait to see more of this Forbidden Door TNA AEW or TNA NXT. We cannot wait to see more of that. Yung ibang matches, feeling ko, I'm not gonna talk about it because we don't care that much. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite now. Real quick. Can I get some water first before I start this? Okay, I'm back. So, let's start with Mercedes Money. Ewan ko ha. Pero habang tumatagal akong hindi naman nasasuya. Habang tumatagal akong nabibwisit sa booking nila kay Mercedes Moné or sa kung ano man yung direction ni Mercedes Moné ngayon, feeling ko habang tumatagal, nasusuya ako on how she's getting booked. Yeah, she's a heel na parang feeling nila, okay, I'm going to be aligned with the elite. Yes, I get that point. Pero, medyo nakakasuya kasi talaga eh. Even on main roster of WWE, I didn't like Mercedes Moné that much. Camille, I'm glad that you are speaking on the AEW programming. Well done. Well done. I hope ikaw na lang yung magsalita for Mercedes. I'm really serious there. Mercedes is just a horrible talker. Sobrang hindi kasi, ito kung ikukumpara mo kay Camille, na never ko narinig magsalita until recently in NWA. Mas sincere siya mag-promo over Mercedes Moné. May mga run or may mga promos naman si Mercedes na tumatak, pero masyado siyang masyado siyang written ni WWE, so it worked. On her AEW run, I never seen a promo of hers that I really liked. Marami akong isusumpa if everyone's going to vote Mercedes Moné as the Woman of the Year for any awards that we are going to have. She's just horrible. I cannot wait to Camille to crack on Mercedes and I hope she will be able to win the TBS belt. Yeah, let's continue. Medyo natatawa rin ako doon sa, yun nga, yung commercial ng yung commercial ng utang ng Taco Bell na nag-appear during the promo of Jack Perry. Tangina pre, imagine mo yung commercial ng Taco Bell. Mismong Taco Bell knows what's up in AEW programming. They know how horrible AEW programming is right now. Putang ina. Pero, yun nga, I'm not really impressed on Jack Perry right now. Sorry. I hope that Darby will be able to win the belt at All in London. Just for lols. Just for lols. Yun ang masasabi ko. Tangin na. I hope who will be the one na maunang matalo ng tag title sa buong elite. Siguro ihuli na natin si Okada na de facto ally ng the elite right now. So, continue natin. Medyo hindi ako interested sa Danielson versus Jeff Jarrett thing. Pasensya na. It's not part of my team. Siguro medyo interested talaga ako on the next story of that. So that's the brawl out, a scripted brawl out that happened after of the show. Eto, isa pa. Medyo kailangan natin laliman ng pag-ano dito. Here's what I don't like about how they promoted this brawl out bullshit. Okay. Dennis Acosta ng PWPH, thank you din sa pag-heads up sa akin about this take. Kasi sobrang agree ako dito. Yung brawl out na nangyayari after of the show, alam mo yung problema ko dito, I know this is a parody of what happened last year, pero tangina, I didn't like how they are really approaching on the SOC media. The idea was to attract the social media thing. Pero the casuals, hindi nyo mahook. I'll never know why. I hope this will be explained though on other shows like Rampage. Recap show lang naman ng Dynamite and Collision. Basically, the recap show din naman ng Dynamite at Rampage. I hope this rollout thing will be explained on those shows though. Pero sobrang nasusuya ako on how these rollouts happened. And this is something that AEW doesn't have compared with the WWE. So on WWE, klaro lahat ng rights nila, mga direction ng storylines, even on TV, they are really showing that. On AEW, wala ka na storyline sa ibang bagay. They are presenting it just for the casuals na nanonood lang sa X, but not on TV. You should focus on TV. TV is the number one basis of the AEW fandom. AEW fandom is really insisting they're really insisting on the ratings. So they should take advantage of the TV, not the fucking social media. Seryoso, social media will always be second. They should take the TV viewers mainly. Siguro, explain nyo muna kung ano yung mga nangyayari. Ito, backstage, may kagagawa na nangyari dito. Siguro, they should explain it more. Rather than pretending that nothing happened. That's why everyone doesn't like how AEW things are going right now. And it's horrible. To the fact that everyone doesn't like how AEW shows are being written. Let's include Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is just something that I don't get. I mean, I love Athena. I love Billy Starks. Other than that, no, not a cup of my tea. And I'm really serious when it comes to talking about this type of storylines that AEW needs to stop after Wembley. And I hope that includes the Jericho bullshit. Jericho, I'm really, really begging, stop this bullshit learning tree. Begging you, man. You have to stop this bullshit. And it's not working on you, man. Seryoso. I don't like it. Isa pa. Ano ba yung mga hindi ko gusto? Diona versus Thunder Rosa? Is that finished yet? Give me a break. Give me a fucking break. This is not over until someone says it's over. This is really dragging. In WWE canon though, never ko na siyang pinag-uusapan. This is same as the Karen Cross New Day bullshit. And I never liked it though. So, hindi ko na nga siya sinasama sa every episode na nire-release ko recently because I know how horrible that was. Even how they are writing every show on both of these or all of these shows, AEW, Dynamite, or Rampage, Collision. Walang tatalo dito, putang ina. That's horrible, man. And I hope, please, Tony Khan, I'm begging you, please, replace the whole commentary team of AEW Dynamite or Collision or do a swap. Excalibur, throw him anywhere. I don't need him on TV. If you really want a formal presentation of your program, start with that guy. JR, I really love JR. I respect JR's job. But hindi ko maintindihan si JR. He should. Yes, I understand then why he's still working there. But segments like that is the best. But I barely understand what he is trying to say. Again, I respect JR and I understand then why AEW is really still on JR. But let's continue with that. Siguro mga talks na maintindihan natin si JR. I hope down the line, we'll be able to see a different type of JR na doesn't really talk too much. And that segment with JR specifically sa Dynamite, I didn't understand what actually was presented because of JR. Actually, interviews like that will elevate a story. Alam mo yung problema, na-elevate lang yung buwisit ko because hindi ko maintindihan yung statement. I mean, naintindihan ko yung na-interview. I think it's Mariah Maya. I'm not sure. But I could not understand some of the questions. I think there's still something wrong on the feed of TBS or it's on JR's. Compared on the prime of JR 2003, 2008 JR until 2010s, compare on that, mas bearable siya 2019-20 eh. Ngayon, na. Last thing before we end the AEW segments here. MJF defeated Kyle Fletcher this week on TV. Medyo, alam mo yung problema ko with this current storyline that they have on MJF, Will Ospreay, and the whole Don Callis family. Don Callis is there. Standing. Pointless. So what in the blue hell what in the blue hell his role right now? He's just there, standing. Pointless. Useless. Inaalisan siya ng lahat ng members ng stable niya. Siguro ang natitira na lang ata sa members ng kanyang stable ay si Takeshita. Other than Takeshita, wala na. I hope Takeshita though and Don Callis will work out for sure. Pero putang ina, pre. You should start disbanding the whole family and focus on Takeshita and Don Callis. In 1 year or halos 7 months, lahat ng members ng Don Callis family umaalis sa sarili nilang grupo. Like si Sammy Guevara, if we are going to include him. Si Will Ospreay umalis din because he wants to focus on himself, to screw himself over. Then Kyle Fletcher because he is a friend of Will Ospreay, kung ano man yung reason niya na hindi ko gusto. Tapos, makakita ka pa ng Don Callis na medyo napopointlessan ako sa role niya. Sobrang pointless naman kasi talaga eh. I barely see him doing everything. He's just there standing. What he is doing? Nothing. So I could not get what he is trying to imply on this show. Siguro, he should start commentating again. Yun. Best for him. Commentating. Other than that, as long as we are able to remove Excalibur from the table, good. That should be it for Dynamite. So, I think yun na pala. Kaya na lang pala yung thoughts ko. So, let's talk about some thoughts on Raw. Mabilis lang. Tanggalin ko na yung graphic ko. Yeah, so Raw this week was story-driven obviously due to the Judgment Day storyline fallout. Ito, CM Punk still losing. I really love the Seth Rollins Bronson Reed thing. That was really a really good presentation on Bronson Reed. Sobrang pabor nun. Then, ano ba ba? Yun nga, yung kay CM Punk tuloy-tuloy pa din. Then the Wyatt 6. Wyatt 6 is really impressive to me. Pero kung ikukumpara ko talaga sa recent na Wyatt run, Bray Wyatt run, medyo it's a very different run right now. Ewan ko. Sasagutin lang ako thoughts ng tropa ko dito. Gusto ko siyang i-address. Na is there a time na medyo nasusuya ba ako dahil they're using both Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper or Brody Lee for or they're using their deaths for this. Personally, hindi naman. Kasi in the end of the day, Uncle Howdy is part of the Wyatt canon. So, technically, hindi niya di nila ginagamit yung patay as cash money. Siguro it's just a continuity of what happened. Yes, they are somehow team or they somehow associate at some point. Brody, Harper, si Uncle Howdy, tsaka si Bray. They are somehow naging associates. And then, sobrang ganda kasi ng presentation sa kanya. Nakakalimutan na natin na they are using the death of both Bray and Uncle or Bray Wyatt and Bronson Reed. Or Bronson Reed, sorry. Bronson Lee or Brody Lee. Putang ina. Ang dami ko nasabing mali. Pasensya na guys. But Brody Lee. Yun. So, to explain further, parang hindi naman in a way nasusuya ako. Kung wala silang history, siguro oo. Pero to the fact na they have a history, it just reminds me of WWE on what they did on Eddie Guerrero, eventually on Rey Mysterio, on the feeling na they really used the death of Eddie Guerrero for Rey Mysterio, and eventually nagbaliktaran din sila dahil kay Dom or na-realize din ni Rey Mysterio na gago tong anak niya. But yeah, I think the presentation of the Wyatt 6 was amazing, but let's focus on that. And I cannot wait to see more of the Wyatt 6. Props din, syempre, kina Gable at saka sa American Made. American Made, I think they did a really good job. Ano ba? Yung Civil War ng grupo nila Sonya Deville at ng Damage Control, I really liked it. Pero medyo nabibitin ako. Medyo, it's really a straightforward thing na walang climax, walang pinagtutunguhan aside sa beatdowns. Wala, it's just, no. Okay. So, siguro tomorrow, bigyan ko kayo ng thoughts on my opinion sa return ni Roman Reigns tomorrow on SmackDown. Siguro, I think there will be a draft before the move on Netflix kasi it has to be executed para medyo maghiwa-walay lang yung mga ulo nasa Raw because we could not put Roman and Cody on the same show because it's a really parang ano ba ang tawag dito? Cock blocking. on both of the shows. So medyo sana mapag-equal nila yung roster down the line. And I hope we'll be able to have a draft once the Netflix deal took place. So yun lang muna. So sa ngayon, that should be it for the main event. Again, pasensya na sa frustrations ko on the AEW programming. And I hope you guys understand why I am really frustrated on the current product of AEW right now. Yun. Sa ngayon, that should be it for me. I hope you will be able to listen on all of the podcast episodes here on the main event mark. And please support our recent episode for the main event. Yung ating recent episode re-release later on. And also on the PWPH podcast, pakinggan nyo yung tagay or yung, ano ba tawag doon? Pilsen pala, Pilsen. The title episode is Pilsen. Ayan, pakinggan nyo yun on all of the podcast platforms and on the main event Mark YouTube channel. If you are watching here right now, you'll be able to listen on that episode. Also, please support then our friends from Puso Wrestling. They are going to have their first show in a couple of days from now, which is Unang Tibok with the main event Chelsea Marie versus Jake De Leon. Jake De Leon also will compete at the Korakuen Hall, the legendary Korakuen Hall. I wish Jake De Leon a really good luck. Our friend of the podcast, a friend of the community, a friend of mine. And I hope that you will be able to greet him as well. Na congratulations for his current status, current tour in Japan. I think there are three events that was announced for GDL's upcoming tour in Japan. So that should be a fun, interesting run. And yeah, that should be it for now here on the main event mark. Again, thank you ulit sa mga nakikinig sa suporta, sa mga hindi nagsasawang suporta here in the main event. And for everyone who is listening on the main event, thank you very much as well for supporting the show. Again, you can follow and support the show on social media as always at MEM Wrestling Pod. And I'm glad that Converge is cooperating with us. I hope that it will not happen again. Ayun. So thank you very much for joining us here on the main event mark. My name is Angelo Pinera here. Again, stay safe and stay reso. Pasensya na din ako nakapagbasa ng comments sa sobrang buwisit ko sa AEW booking. And for now, we are going to see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now.